feels good. Come on now. Have a seat down on the big brown couch. Come on in. We in the green room. Have a seat down on the big brown couch. It feels good. We in the green room. Have a seat. Those wax on the big brown couch.
What is up, world?
What up, what up?
We are so excited to be here for our very first episode of our podcast.
First episode ever.
Welcome to...
First podcast ever.
I know, right? Welcome to Backstage with Lost Wax. You are here in the green room on the big brown couch.
Brown couch.
My name's Eboni Fondren.
I'm Patrick Woolam. Welcome, guys. I am the band leader, guitar player, vocalist. Eboni, what do you do?
Band leader, lead vocalist, wardrobe, PR.
All the fashion
all the
things.
Bangs,
I love it.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
So this is our first ever podcast with Lost Wax, episode 1, and this episode is brought to you by absolutely nobody because it's our first episode, and we don't have any sponsors yet, but we're hoping to catch some.
We don't have any sponsors yet. No.
But no, we want to welcome you guys here. So
yeah, we're excited to just talk about all things Lost Wax and party band industry stuff.
Yep.
And we've got a cool blog that we are working on that's kind of going to be tied to this. And our first guest today
is the one and only.
The one and only.
Drum roll. Dana Sterner.
Dana Sterner.
That's right.
Our sales director. You're going to hear from her and her role with the band and her time in the industry and just all of her cool experiences and stories. And so we're excited for that.
Yeah.
We got a cool house band playing some jams.
The official Lost Wax house band.
Exactly.
That's right.
So yeah, we're excited that you are tuning in and listening to us. And so, yeah, let's kick this thing off.
Absolutely.
All right.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of the platforms.
Wax, a band.
Lost Wax Band.
I think
Check
we
it
should
out.
cheers to our first episode.
Hey, let's do it. Come on.
Woo.
Cheers. All right, let's get this thing going.
What's up, everybody? We are back in the green room, and we've got our first guest, Miss Dana Sterner.
Woo, yeah.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yes.
So Dana is the sales manager for Lost Wax, y'all.
That's right. Director of sales. So quick notes about Dana. She's been here for 3 years, almost 3 years now, right?
3 years on Friday, actually.
Friday.
Oh,
November 1st.
anniversary.
November 1st is the anniversary. Also, Dana's been in the industry for 18 years now, so quite some time.
Veteran.
With Lost Wax for 3. So with that being said, Dana, kick it off. Tell us how you got into the industry, how you came to be with Lost Wax. Tell us your story.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Gosh, hearing that 18 years does make me feel a little bit old, but veteran. I like
Exactly,
I like
veteran.
veteran. I like that term so much better. I started really just kind of fell into it after college. Worked at the front desk at the Sheraton of Overland Park. Lost Wax is actually playing there this weekend, so shout out. Sheraton OP, beautiful hotel. Started at the front desk and then was able to transition to the banquet department. And I gotta give credit to that place. The banquet department there was incredible, and I learned so much about how to run events from that place. It was such a great foundation, and then just kind of bounced around hotels. Really got into weddings working at the Hobbs building. I started there, which,
I remember the Hobbs building.
The Hobbs.
Memories.
Yes. So Lost Wax really started getting into private events in 2009. And I started at the Hobbs in 2011.
Okay.
And they weren't doing a lot of bands there. It was easily like 70-30 DJs bands when I started there. And then started recommending you guys, working with Chris Moore. I've known Chris since our K-State days, since even before Lost Wax.
Yeah.
So I started recommending him.
And there honestly wasn't a lot of bands in general.
There really
at the time
wasn't
doing weddings.
There
I knew
really,
of like one, but
there were. Michael Beers,
I
Atlantic
remember,
Express, where that was
about it.
And the Zeros. I remember
yeah.
those were the 3 bands on the Hobbs preferred vendor list.
Interesting.
When I
Okay.
started. So yeah, then it was Lost Wax. And you guys obviously just killed it every time and got you on that list, a couple other bands. And so we started working together. And I just always like to say that, because it's true, like me and Lost Wax, we kind of came up in the industry together. I was there for 8 years, 2011 to 2019. And that's where I met so many of the other people that we work with today.
Yeah.
You know, wedding planners, photographers, all these different vendors that we all
that whole
know.
time you were at Hobbs?
Yeah, 8 years.
I thought you were. Did you do country club?
So I left in
Yeah, was it?
2019 and went to
okay,
Mission Hills
okay,
Country
okay.
Club.
That's
And,
it.
Right.
and it's really, to say we came up during that time, I think is so true, because by the time, you know, I left there, went to Mission Hills, I was the director of events there, which was such a huge step for me. And at that point, Lost Wax was elite. They were everywhere. They were at the status where we kind of are now. I think we're better now. I mean, I don't know why, what the difference is.
Could it
Say
be
old
because of Dana Sterner? I think so.
But yeah, so I was at Mission Hills, worked with Lost Wax quite a bit there, still am booking there now with the connections I made. But after the pandemic, coming out of 2021, everybody was back to events. 2021 was nuts.
It was absolutely insane.
Yeah, so talk about that a little bit.
I
How was that
know-
trying to like book during the pandemic situation? Like how
man.
you as doing sales for us, of that being, kind of some of your first years, like how did that go for you as trying to sell a live events band in a market where there was no live events to be had? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was still at the country club in 2020 during the bulk of it, and that was really hard. Just they called me the event canceller. That was, yeah. That was such a hard time to be in events, because I loved running events. I love weddings. To be a part of anything, but weddings especially, I think are just really special. To be a part of somebody's day and to know that you have a hand in making it so
Yeah.
special, which Lost Wax does too. The band is so important. But I loved that. And so to not be able to do that
Yeah.
was really hard.
Yeah.
And so coming out of it in 2021, everybody wanted to do events. Like as soon as it was safe again and we were able to, so I was just run ragged. And I know you guys were too, trying to fit in the COVID reschedules and postponements and booking new stuff. 2021 was wild, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
If you weren't in an industry that...
I'll never forget my first event back was with Lost Wax doing a live stream for Ottawa University from our old office warehouse. And I have been in my basement for the last year and a half doing live streams.
Yeah.
in
You
my
come out all
basement
feral,
first,
like,
yeah.
What's the Like-
Yeah, I'm just live streaming to Facebook,
Everybody's
literally
all
getting
fuzzy and
sponsored by like
crusty.
companies like Slurps, just trying to make a quick buck. But no, I think a lot of us learned.
Like, you want me in
lot.
person?
Yeah, exactly. And there was definitely like, it almost felt like a bear in hibernation, like coming out of that into like back into a full production mode where all of us were just like, wait, how do we do this? What are we doing? How do we do this? But it was, it was just great to be back to it. But yeah. Well, I just want to say you've been an incredible addition since you came in. Obviously, we had, Chris Davis, our lovely leader for this group, took on so much. And I just remember that.
Everything. He did
Yeah.
He was
everything.
excited when you came on.
And
too.
just being able to take some of that off his plate and really have somebody focused in and dialed in on selling us and putting all their time and energy into that definitely gave us a big push.
Yeah.
And so we're definitely grateful for having you for that. But
Well, thank you.
But yeah, so I mean, some of like we discussed, that this whole podcast that we're rolling out is going to be about is sort of some certain topics that we want to discuss with our guests. And one of the main ones is this new blog that Abby, our director of communications, has started writing up for our website. And so the first topic of conversation that was written in the blog was about, clients specifically with weddings doing first dances and how do, we get a lot of questions from brides, grooms, and different wedding clients about, we don't know what first dance song we're going to pick yet. Can you guys help us out? And for me as a band leader, I think Ebony would agree, it's hard for us to jump in and interject on such a big moment for those clients, because when I'm sitting down scripting, they have a lot of questions and they want our insight, and I love giving them that insight and help guiding them through that process with us as a band. But there's just certain moments that you don't really want to pick out for them, and that's one of them. Yeah. And so that's kind of what this episode's going to lean towards. So I just kind of wanted to start with picking your brain, because you are our first line of communication when a client comes to sign a contract and when you're selling us. And first off, does that question ever come up when they talk with you before you hand them off to us? How does that process go for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I always, with every inquiry, when somebody wants to book Lost Wax, I'm the one that gets those inquiries. I am, like you said, the first one they talk to. And especially for weddings, I always want to set up a phone call or a Zoom, which I've got one after this.
Yeah.
So I'm on a schedule.
I know we're on a bit of a schedule with you, but we're just glad for the time.
And so I just like to get to know them, kind of get their vibe, figure out, we talk about music. I ask them kind of, what are you into? What do you like to dance around in the kitchen to? Sort of what's your vibe? And more recently, I've started to ask about, who's going to be at this wedding? Is it a lot of family? You got a lot of family. Do you have a big friend group? How rowdy are they? Just really trying to get to know them so that I can say, all right, you know what? This is a crazy crowd. Maybe they're a good fit for Pat, or, their musical vibe is Ebony. They want, that elegance, that class, that jazzy, little jazzy vibes during cocktail hour. I just really try to get to know them. And we do talk about first dances because the band will play them live. And that's almost always a question they have, so I always address that. And I do always ask them, do you know what your first dance song is? And most couples don't.
Right.
It's kind of a thing, and I feel like I love this blog. I love the idea of us helping to guide them, because I want it to feel like kind of a journey, like a thing that they can do together to figure out what do we want to do, what song do we want to dance to introduce ourselves to everybody as a married couple, and not it's work. There's so much about wedding planning that's work, and like these decisions, what napkin colors, all this stuff.
And I think a lot of people sometimes get hung up on those things because they think there's like a right or wrong choice.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know when I'm band scripting and stuff, I try to say, well, what do you guys love? What's your vibe? Like, what's, because a lot of times too, if their parents are on the call, their song is going to be something completely different. And so I'll ask mom and dad, what was your song? And, and just try to get, and a lot, also run into that with like grand entrance songs too.
Yes.
It's like, we don't know what to pick. What should we do? And it's like, tell me about your friend group. Like, where do you guys like to have? I feel like that can be the same vibe. And I've gotten that question with like first dance song, father, daughter, mother, son. They get so hung up because they think there's a right or a wrong choice. Yeah. I think the first thing is to know, hey, there's not a right or wrong choice. Absolutely. It's kind of like what you feel.
Yeah. Well, and Dana, you brought up a good point, is that a lot of these clients have so many decisions to make, from the smallest little things about what their color scheme's going to be. They've got not only, their own idea in their mind, but then they've hired a planner. Most of our clients hire a wedding planner, and then they're coming at them with 100 questions that they have to answer. And so it's one of these things that we really strive to help them out with, but it's a very personal moment. So as much as we encourage them to make that decision on their own, we have, and this blog kind of lays out a lot of ways for them. There's a questionnaire in there that will kind of guide them through this process of how to select those things. So recorded versus DJ'd. Throw this to Dana, because I have my take on some of this. But
so that's also something that I talk about in these calls. And I found early on, I would have brides ask me, what if I do what, will the band do it? Of course they will. And then I had brides like, well, what if I actually want the recorded version? Is that okay?
Say less.
Are they gonna,
say less. Exactly.
I had a bride literally say, is it going to hurt the band's feelings?
Not
and
at
I'm like, nope, that's fine.
If you knew the amount of singing we were about to do this evening, ma'am.
So I kind of make that joke, but I tell them, look, it's whatever you want. If you want, because there are sometimes, if you want this exact version of something, that's the song that's special to you.
Exactly.
That's what you want. That's what we're going to give you. It's really about what they want, but the band will play it.
Yeah.
We can do it acoustic. I talk about that too. You want a stripped down, sexy acoustic version of a Chris Stapleton song. Like, stop it, you know?
Yeah,
So,
you know, for me, what I've grown to like really enjoy more is like if there's something that's like I had a father-daughter dance and it was like this special song and it was in Spanish and I was like, I spoke a little Spanish back in the day, so I was like, I can learn that, and so we surprised her dad, and I learned the song.
I love that.
And then I sang it. You know what I mean? And that was special as opposed to like stuff that we already have in our wheelhouse. Like, there's no question. Obviously, you know, My Wish or My Little Girl or Wonderful World and stuff like that.
At Last,
we
Etta
know.
James,
So
all
the
that.
thought
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like playing that live is just like, of course we'll play it live.
Yeah.
But like, I think what makes it special if it's something that we all kind of connect to, like if there's a story behind a song or like if it's something that's not, and I think, you know, I do want to do that live for you guys, or can you do that live, you know? So I think it's situational, obviously.
Yeah.
But, so to answer the question, we can play them live. Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
But if you want that recorded
will do it
version,
live.
we will gladly press play.
We're really, really good at press and
I'm
play
real good
on an
at
iPad.
press and play
You guys.
on the Spotify list.
Killing it. Killing it, for
well,
sure.
Hey, look, guys, look what happened. This mysteriously showed up on the desk.
Hey,
A little Lost Wax koozie.
Producer Clay.
You guys
do
want
we-
some merch? We
do
got.
we have a,
We got a merch site.
we do. I'd like to show off one of the Lost Wax koozies, but I'd like for
You'd
it to
like
be.
to show off one
I'd like
as
for it to
well?
be cold with something in there as well. if
This
you
is
don't mind.
actually, she has my personal koozie that I travel with at all times.
Oh, that
It is
thing.
always
That
in my
thing has
purse.
seen quite a
Seen
bit.
some stuff, man.
I'll tell you this about Dana Sterner is that not only is she one of the best salespeople out there, but she's one of the best partiers I've ever met in my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're looking for an absolutely good time, you need to go out with Dana Sterner for a night. And I will tell you that I have seen and I've heard a lot of stories about her closing some deals into the wee hours of the morning. And I have been a
will
part
work
of some
around
of
the clock.
those myself. There may or may not have been a couple tens of drinks involved, but
Oh, you know, we don't need to
Yeah.
go into details.
Hey,
there,
we-
Pat.
Hey, I'll
She's
do
a
whatever it takes.
professional.
I'll do whatever it takes, guys.
yes.
I'm here for you.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
You've been with us 3 years now.
3 years.
Pat, how long has it been for you?
10 years.
And me,
10 years.
almost 12?
11.
I would say
11.
more than 10.
11.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're at least 11 because I was, after Ash and I came in after you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to know, what has been your like favorite?
Right here, Johnson. Thank you.
What has been your favorite wedding event or whatever, like Lost Wax thing that you've either, you know, sold or been, you know, that we've done? What's been like your favorite?
Ooh, that's a really tough question.
Drum roll. Can I get
you
a drum
know,
roll?
I will say, you know, one that comes to mind is the first year that I was with Lost Wax when we did Knickerbocker at Oakwood Country Club. Shout out to Oakwood Country Club. We do
What
a
up,
lot of
Oakwood?
stuff with them.
What up?
That's their big
They
golf.
just renovated. That
Yes,
is
it's
so beautiful.
gorgeous. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous out there. It's their big golf, their summer golf tournament that they do. And we've Lost Wax has played that
that
for
Knickerbocker? I don't
think I
years.
did that
It's called
one.
Knickerbocker.
Yeah, the
They-
Knickerbocker.
Pat's done that.
Shout out to Ken Block as well.
Yes.
for throwing it.
So I, you know, usually if I go to an event with Lost Wax, I'm stopping by for sound check or I'm there early,
Yeah.
talking to planners, whatever. That was the first one, I guess, in 2022 would have been when I went because it's in August. I went to that thinking I was just going to kind of hang out, get some videos, see you guys start. And I stayed the whole time. I ran into some members from Mission Hills, made some new friends. It was one of the first events that I was, as a sales manager, booked, planned, and then hung out and stayed the whole
Yeah.
time. I was on the dance floor.
That's a good
You know,
time.
hanging out
Yeah.
with Steve the GM. I had so much fun. And it really did kind of change a little bit of how I approach things or whatever. And it was like, I can come party. You know,
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
I really just felt so like
Well,
loose
it's
and
like
fun.
what-
And like, I could still be a guest
What
or
was that block
hang
party that
out.
you and I went to?
Oh,
just
yes,
not even a month
that's
ago.
up there. Spotlight block party
Spotlight
down
Block
Oh,
there.
yeah,
Party.
that-
Dana and
that
I
one's
happened
fun,
to be
too.
off that
Yeah.
night.
Ooh, that was my
And-
birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two of
we
you
were
guys
in
were out there
wild nights
twerking in the
bars.
middle of the streets of Kansas City.
It was fun.
But you know what? What was so
We
great
brought
about
the
that?
party all
Okay.
We
night.
did.
Like
The
Dana and I
best,
never left.
the best
there.
part of that was we had kind of a stale crowd coming into that, and it was just a bunch of, it was almost like this corporate get together thing. And then you show up, and Eboni shows up, and you all just start line
Well, we
dancing in the
came
middle of the
together,
street.
boo.
Yeah,
We did.
okay.
We did make that
My
dance
bad.
floor happen.
But
We've
you
been
guys
watching the
walked out
Royals
into the
game.
middle of the
watching the Royals
street,
game, that's
and
right.
you came out and just got in the middle of the street, and both of you guys started dancing. Then everybody just started flocking their way down.
Got that
And I
party
was
started.
like, so not only can Dana sell the band on the front end,
Right.
but she's bringing the party on
bringing
the
the
back
party.
end,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's what we
You
appreciate
You can
about
hire
you.
me as a party motivator, guys,
Yes.
on the side. Just shoot
Absolutely.
Me an email.
I love it.
got
I know
it.
what your favorite
I
event
do love
was.
to go.
Oh, I will tell
That
you
food,
about that.
one at Dan Miner's.
Dan Miner's event 2016.
Listen, if y'all want to have a good time with Pat, just give him a food buffet with some shrimp and some
Let me
tacos, and he will lose his mind. That's
Can
all
I
I gotta
can I please just take a moment to shout this out because
Yes.
it was a Jewish wedding, so they had like most Jewish weddings, kosher food, but they had a lot of non-Jewish guests, and they obviously had a good amount of money and a budget for the best spread of food I've ever seen. So they had 5 different stations. Eboni was on this with me.
So funny.
They had
I'm crying.
they had a seafood station. They had these jumbo shrimp with like
with the cocktail sauce.
yeah, they
stuck
had
in
like
it.
little straws
Yeah.
and the little
And he
cocktail
just
sauce.
kept- he just kept coming back over
Yeah.
with plates of food.
Yeah.
They got shrimp. with
They
it.
got shrimp.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, listen, they had king crab legs sawed in half. So you don't even have to do
Just
the work.
beautifully displayed.
You could just take it out. So
Yeah.
I was coming back with one plate, and then I go over and be like, "They got a taco station over here," and Ebony's just looking at me like, "Well, you need to slow down."
And because of course, come the grand entrance or whatever song it is.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
up there sweating.
No, it was
With his guitar,
24
talking
karat
about
magic.
some
Sweating
sun.
out shrimp
Start
shells.
the night. Yeah, I was like just sweating cocktail
Cocktail
sauce. And it's tonight.
Oh.
Ebony looked over at me just like,
He's gonna pass out.
and I powered through because I'm a professional.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
But yeah, I've never wanted to throw up more in the middle of a gig than that one.
I couldn't do my job. My job wouldn't be as easy as it is if you guys didn't kill it
Yeah.
every time. Speaking of, shout out to Beta Theta Pi at KU.
Oh, my
having us
goodness.
back for their winter formal.
Let's
Just talked
go.
to them.
Look,
They love the party that we brought last year, coming back this year.
I want a Beta
That
Theta
one's
Pi.
gonna be lit, y'all.
yeah, and all of you sororities and fraternities out there, is this camera? Please hire us because
Yes.
we might be old and not college kids anymore, but we can still keep up with y'all. So
Oh, yeah,
bring
bring
us
it.
back.
1,000%.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, I do want to shout out the Ken Block event. Let's talk about his food for a minute because because
Pat's trying to turn this
no,
into a food podcast.
listen,
Right now,
that might be another
we're gonna have
segment
to-
that I'll
we're gonna
open
have
up.
to have
This is episode 1, but we might have to open up a separate portion that is discussing the amazing food we get. He had sternos with all you could eat lobster
The
tails.
fact that you remember
All
these
you could eat.
things,
Oh,
though, like,
trust me, I
crack
never
me
forget a good meal. I never forget a good meal. And this year he upped it with an oyster bar for the VIP section of his place, which I just happened to stumble upon.
Oh, just
And,
stumbled upon.
and he had the mignonette, he had the hot sauces, he had it all.
Yep.
And again, I walked onto that stage a little more
Little
full
sweaty,
than
little meat
a
sweats.
little meat sweats. But yeah.
Well, my favorite event.
Yeah.
They're taking it back over.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say
honestly,
mine are always gonna be the food.
I mean, yes,
it was a
yes.
lot of work, but it was. I don't know how
Which one did you say?
the draft.
Oh my gosh, the NFL draft. Yeah.
It was just fun. It was just cool. And the what I liked was the thrill of the live.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the thrill of having the producer in our ear and then throwing it back to us and then, countdown, come off, and all that stuff. It was just like an adrenaline rush and then geeking out with, Shelby as we're like, her getting
man.
mad because Kelsey and I snuggled up in the picture and not her.
Well,
No, I was kidding.
I'll tell you all that press leading up to that and the hype leading up to it,
Yeah.
and again, like you said, the amount of work that went into that.
Yeah.
I think we
That
counted.
deserves its own episode. You
Hey,
guys.
yeah,
should do-
we
what?
will.
That'd
We
be-
will
we
crawl
need to
into
do a
that.
Be
whole
cool.
episode
But
about the draft.
I'll just say that
Yeah.
we counted up. I think it was 256 songs total, included in all of our mashups over the course of 3 days.
That's a
With
lot
11
of
hours on
singing
stage is a lot of stuff.
and a
but
lot of standing.
There's nothing like walking out there and having Ryan Clark from ESPN standing right in front of the stage vibing out during our sound check. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, that's Ryan Clark.
Yeah.
And he comes up, he's like, man, you guys sound lit. And I'm like, we are lit, Ryan. We are. In my mind, of course, I was just like,
no, but having the guys on the ESPN like turn around and be like, did they just mash up? Like, I don't
I almost got
remember
into a Twitter war with Rich Eisen on stage through my phone.
Because you were too loud.
Yeah.
Okay, and I will just say, let me say this about the draft, and this is my
Yeah, you gotta get us.
plug. I do have to go, but
Yeah.
the draft was incredible. Sometimes I watch the video. You guys closed it out with Simply the Best. Sometimes I watch that video and cry just because I cry all the time watching you because I'm so moved. But when when we did December Bramer, shout out December.
Oh,
we
yeah.
did her
What up,
party.
December? Yes.
We did it was 40th birthday party, 10-year anniversary party just recently at Jay Rieger. You guys, it was a 5-piece.
Shout out to the Rieger, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
What up?
Rieger. It was a 5-piece band. So the draft band was, 18, 15, it was huge.
Yeah,
right?
I believe it was 15 piece band,
people on stage, huge band, all the things. December's party was a 5-piece. Pat, you were on it.
Sean Ruffin. Yep, both
You
Seans.
guys closed that out with Simply the Best, and I did cry watching you because that 5-piece band was, I felt like I was at the draft.
Yeah.
Watching that band at December's party. She was on the dance floor with her friends. You guys made such a connection with that crowd. You were pouring yourselves
Thank you,
into
Dana.
it.
Yeah.
The same as if you were on national TV on the draft. And that's what just blows me away every time about you guys is how good
From
you
a
are.
5-piece to
From a 5-piece to, 15, 18, whatever, you still get that feeling and you guys still just kill it every time.
Well,
and that's one of my favorite
We really
events, too.
appreciate that, Dana. And on that note, we're gonna let you go. But folks, don't
Dana
forget,
Sterner, y'all,
you can get
sales director,
5-piece or 12-piece and
Right.
get the same energy.
Hit me up.
But-
a little bucket of chicken or a big old bucket of chicken.
LostWaxBand.com. Send out that inquiry form. It comes straight to me. I'll take
right.
care of you.
All right. Well, that was our time with Miss Dana Sterner,
Thank you.
sales
We love
director.
you so much, Dana.
Lost Wax.
You're the
Dana,
best.
thank you for coming.
Yeah,
what
thank you.
are
Yes,
you working
thank
on
you.
next, ma'am?
Well, I'm going to go do a sales call with a couple right now. And I've got...
Immediately next, okay.
Like
Yeah.
literally right now.
She's got 4 minutes.
I've got, I don't know, just meetings. We've got holiday season coming up. So
Yes.
I'm still booking holiday stuff. Just looking forward to closing out the year. That's about it. But if you need anything, if you want to book us, whatever you need, lostwaxband.com. If you fill out that inquiry form, it comes straight to me. I'll hit you back. I'll take care of you. However many, 5 pieces to 18, whatever you need, I got you.
Well, Dana, we appreciate it. And if we don't see you on Friday, happy 3rd anniversary of Lost Wax on Friday. So, all right, get out of here and
Thanks,
get to
guys.
work.
Bye.
All right. All right, well, that was
that
incredible.
was Dana. I
Yeah.
know. I love her.
Dude, she is the best. And I got to tell you,
She is simply the best.
she simply is the best.
We got so many hot topics
Yeah.
that we're going to be talking about during this podcast, and we are excited to share that all with you. So make sure you tune in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep on track on our Instagram, Lost Wax Band, and
Yep.
see what we got going on next.
Instagram, Lost Wax Band, jukeboxmedia.com. You
Yep.
can follow all of we have a myriad of other bands. You can kind of catch all the videos that we have up there, all the content that we're putting out, all the blogs that we kind of discussed with her a little bit. Make sure you guys check in on those because we got a lot of good insight and stuff that we want to pass along to everybody and share with you. So yeah.
We're getting ready to peel back the onion that is Lost Wax and Jukebox
right.
Media and kind of
Yep.
how we,
Yep.
share all of our knowledge and stuff with
Absolutely.
the world and kind of how we do what we do.
Yeah.
And we're just excited to bring that to you.
And another big one before we get out of here that we really, really want to push is that we have a YouTube channel that we want you guys all to jump on, like and subscribe to the Lost Wax Band YouTube channel. Some great content coming there. A lot of behind the scenes stuff that we're going to be shooting from not only this podcast, but a lot of we just did a big photo shoot with Jessica Rourke, which I think we're bringing her on in a few episodes.
We got a lot in store. Be on the lookout for some public shows.
That's right.
We're just excited to share with you guys. So, write into us. DM us
know.
questions.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. My
Yes.
name's Eboni Fondren.
I'm Patrick Woolam. We love you guys.
And we're going to throw it back to the house band to get us out.
Let's go, house
Let's
band.
go, Lost Wax.